Hi there, this is Miss April and today we are making 3D pumpkins. Pumpkins are native to North America. They originated in northeastern Mexico and southern United States. Pumpkins belong to the gourd family, which is described as a fleshy fruit with a hard skin. This includes squash, zucchini, cucumbers, watermelon, honeydew melon, and cantaloupe, along with others. And for many of us in the United States, pumpkins are synonymous with Halloween and fall. In this video, we are going to design our own using paper. This can easily be done without a silhouette machine, and you can follow along by drawing the design using paper and pencil and cutting it out with scissors. The first step is to create a circle. Make sure to lock the size up at the top and change the width or height to 4 inches. Next, center the circle to the page. Double-click the circle to access the edit points. Bring the point at the top 3 squares up, so 1, 2, 3, and do the same at the bottom. Click on the top point again with the point editing panel open. Change that point from smooth to corner. Select the blue point on the right and drag it out to the bottom left-hand corner of this square right next to the oval shape. Do the same to the bottom. Don't worry if it isn't perfect. Next, color in the shape. Zoom in at the top and with the knife tool, try to cut down the middle. You can delete the left piece because you are actually going to copy the piece on the right. To do so, open Replicate and mirror left. Once that is done, zoom in at the top and just press your right arrow key on your keyboard so the left piece just slightly overlaps the right piece. Select both pieces and weld them together. You can zoom out and now you have this petal shape. Let's make it smaller. We'll be working with a width of 2.217 inches and the height of 5.679 inches for our petals. Next, we are going to create another circle. The diameter or height or width of the circle is 0.609 inches. Place the circle at the top, just enough to cover the tip of the petal, and color it in. You can then select both and weld them together. Now create another circle with a diameter of 0.965 inches. Place the bottom tip of the petal at the center of the edge of the circle, just like you see here. Color in the circle, but do not weld together. Open the Replicate panel and mirror the petal below. Align the bottom petal with the top petal and place at the edge of the circle like you did for the first petal. You can always select both the petal and the circle and align center to make sure they are perfectly centered. The Smart Snapping feature really helps you to place the tip right at the edge. We need a total of 6 petals, going all the way around. Create 2 copies by selecting the top petal and by holding Ctrl and pressing either one of the arrow keys twice. Set those aside and select the rest. Open the Transform panel and then click Rotate. In the custom box, enter 60 degrees. Place a petal at the top along the edge of the circle, like we did with the other petals. Notice how the Smart Snapping feature is really helping me out here, but I always double check that it is centered. Mirror below and do the same. We have to repeat the process one more time. Select the entire thing and rotate it 60 degrees. Repeat the same steps we did before with the petals. Now you can select the blue circle and make it bigger. We'll change the size to 1.804 inches and bring it to the front. Place it at the center. Select all and weld. Now you can make it smaller to fit in the design space. The width is now 9.785 inches and the height is 11.220 inches. Now we need to create something that goes in the center of the pumpkin that can hold our petal shapes in the middle. We are first going to create a circle. Change the size to 1.234 inches. Next, create a rectangle and change the width to 0.3 and the height to 3.1. Create a copy and fill with color, preferably the same color you plan on using for the pumpkin. We need to make a small square. Change the width and height to 0.416. Next, place one of the rectangles at the top of the circle and the second rectangle at the bottom. Align both so that they are at the center of the circle. Next, create a copy of the small box and fill both with color. Place both on each end. Zoom in to the top and move the rectangle down just a little so that it slightly overlaps the circle. Make sure it's at the center. Do the same with the bottom rectangle and again with the small squares on both ends. Select all the pieces and weld. Great, now we can move on to the stem. For the stem, create a rectangle with a width of 3.5 and a height of 0.8 inches. Next, create a rounded rectangle and change the height to 6 inches and the width to 0.35 inches. Zoom in at the bottom and fill both rectangles with color. Leave a small gap between both rectangles and make a circle. Fill in the circle and access the edit points. You want to create a curve at the top part of the circle, so when all three pieces are welded, they look like this. You can do this by moving the edit points. Yours won't be the same as mine, but it just needs to be the same general shape. Access the edit points of the vertical rectangle and change the points so that it curves the ends. Zoom in at the bottom and change the shape again so that it fits within the vertical rectangle. Again, it just has to have the same general shape. After you are done, weld all three together. Next, change the stem to whichever color you want. I'm going with green. Find an image of a pumpkin leaf outline and trace. Use the stem for a size reference. Once you have the size chosen, fill in with color, and those are all your pieces. As you can see, it takes time to create your own designs using mostly the drawing tools in the software. But you did it, and honestly, I think that that's really cool. So now it's time to send our design to cut and to put it all together. Here are all of our pieces cut out. Make sure to grab some glue. We are first going to assemble the part that goes on the inside. You first need to fold the sides like this. Next, fold the small squares and glue them together. You might need to hold it there for a while until the glue sort of dries. Next, we glue the circle to the inside of the flower-looking piece, right in the center. Next, we fold over each petal at a time and glue to that inside piece. Repeat all the way around, gluing the tip of a petal on top of another. Make sure to hold and wait so that it really sticks. As the pumpkin dries, you can grab the stem piece and use a marker, pen, or the spatula to wrap the paper around like this. You can use a little bit of glue to hold it in place. Do the same with the other piece and then simply adjust the curl to your liking. Use a pen that no longer has ink or works, or the spatula tip to create the veins of a leaf. You are only gently scoring the paper. It's kind of hard to see it on camera, but you can sort of see it here. All that's left is to glue the stem to the top of the pumpkin and to glue the leaf. And that is it. Thanks again for watching.